Benvenuto. Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to make cheese and onion pie. Why are we going to make cheese and onion pie? Well, I happened to see a video in my feed that was titled The Best British Cheese and Onion Pie. Since I love everything British and I love onions and cheese, I thought we'd try to make it. There are a couple of ingredients that I couldn't get here in the United States. The person that made the video, obviously, it must be either from someplace in the UK or Australia. But anyway, so I had to make a few substitutes to this recipe. One of them was in the person's video, which by the way, we'll include a link to it if you want to go and make it the exact same way that they did it. It called for a French onion pasteurized cheese, 5 ounces of it. Well, could not find that particular brand or anything like that in the United States. So my first thought is I would use Velveeta. Well, when I went to the store, the only thing they had is a big, gigantic block of Velveeta cheese, like, you know, it was way more than I needed. I needed 5 ounces. I think it was like 25 ounces. So as I was looking around the supermarket, I noticed the Laughing Cow pasteurized cheese. So I thought, oh, that should work. Plus, I was able to get it in garlic and herb. So that's what I bought. Now, so with that, you have to unfortunately open up the individual package and then cut it into a couple little pieces. It's not that big of a deal, so you don't have to worry about that too much. But anyway, I've got off the track. We're going to go over the ingredients. All right, so since it's, we already talked a little bit about the cheese and onion pie, so obviously the main ingredients is cheese and onions. All right, so I've got 2 cups of shredded mozzarella and 2 cups of sharp cheddar cheese. I've got this is actually 6 ounces of Laughing Cow. And also, by the way, I've never made this recipe, so you're watching us make it right now. I don't know how this is going to come out. But one of the other ingredients, of course, you need is onions. So the recipe calls for 5 medium onions. Now, a lot of times, I don't know about you, but I'm frustrated. It'll say 1 small onion or 2 medium onions, 1 large onion. All right, so I went on YouTube to find out what is the size difference between onions. All right, this is a small onion. So a small onion should be no less than 4 ounces. A medium-sized onion, is between 5 and 8 ounces, and a large onion is between 8 and 12 ounces. That's according to Google. Hopefully they're right. One of the other big differences in their recipe, and which we're going to do today, is they used phyllo dough, which of course I could easily get phyllo dough, but I was thinking, oh, what else could I use? Also in their recipe, they recommend using a short crust for the best results. Well, making crust is not one of my favorite things in the world, basically because I never seem to get it just right. So I was thinking, what else could we use? And I thought, oh, okay, well, we'll use the crescent sheets. All right, so that's what we're going to try using. All right, so now also these onions are not cooked. So I decided to kind of chop them on the thin side. So let's get those chopped up. So I just did that. I cut it in 4s, and I tried to just slice them a little bit thinner. And I have plenty of onions, so that's all I need for our onions. So I'm going to just set this aside. All right, now, the crescent roll, of course, has got a lot of butter or shortening or whatever they put in it. But just in case, I'm going to lightly grease this pan. In the video of the recipe, they didn't say what size pan to use. It looked to me like it was a 9x12. I'm going to use my little French onion casserole pan. So again, they did call to grease the pan. And I'm just being a little overcautious with this. I am going to, got a piece of dirt on my finger. I am going to just very lightly grease this. I think the dough won't stick anyway. Okay. There's really not a lot of cooking to this recipe. At this point, it's just assembling it. So that you don't have to stand here and watch me do all of this, I'm going to get some of it done. I'll come back and show you what I did. And then we'll put it together and get it in the oven. Alrighty, see you in a bit. All right, well, I'm definitely going to adjust this recipe because I thought I'd need 4 packages of the dough, but probably going to need 3 at the most. But in any case, so I took 1 sheet, put it on the bottom, pressed it in, and then I took a half a sheet of 1 others and got it pressed in our bowl, in our pan nice. In the original recipe, they didn't say what size pan to use. It looked to me like it was a 9 by 12 baking dish. I thought I'd try making it in this one. All right, so you do want to get your crust up along the sides. Maybe make a little bit of a edge of the crust. All right, so that's we got 1.5 sheets of the dough in there. Okay, I'm going to open up and cut up the rest of the Laughing Cow cheese, and then when we come back, we'll put it all together and put the top on. Okay, so we got all of our little Laughing Cow packages open. This is a pain in the neck. Definitely, if this comes out good and I make it again, I'm going to try. I'll get a 8-ounce block of Velveeta. I think that would be much easier. Or you could even do like the Cheez Whiz in a glass jar. I think that would work just as well. But anyway, I'm just going to kind of break them up so that we get them distributed maybe a little bit more when we mix it together. This is sometimes the fun part about cooking. I know a lot of times I'll try different recipes or make up a recipe that sounds good in my head, and then when I actually sit down to make it, it's a nightmare. But anyway, all right, so we got our cheddar and mozzarella. We got a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper. We'll just sprinkle that all in there. All right. I'm going to give that a little bit of a toss because it may not distribute evenly. We'll mix it up nice. All right, and then we're going to put all of our onions in. I think this is going to be too much for my baking pan, but we have to. We'll make another little one. Again, mixed up a bit. Now the processed cheese, of course, is going to melt and hopefully spread out nicely, but I've got my doubts. Every bit out of there that we can. All right. Mix that up as good as you can. I think that's as good as I'm going to get it. All right, so let's put it in our, see, I knew we'd get big chunks of that in there. if I could have found the product they used in the recipe, or had I gotten the Velveeta, that would have distributed more, because it's a harder cheese that's really soft. And we might get this all in there. Yay! All right. And get it in there evenly. You don't want to leave all that nice stuff on there. Now these onions, as I said, go in raw. I had thought of maybe sauteing them a bit, but I said, well, that's the way they did it. Let's see how it came out. All right, so then we got another sheet of our dough. I think that's all I'm going to need. If I can cut some off in the ends, we'll get enough. All right, got my. So I would say the most you're going to need is, if this indeed does come out, is going to be 3 cans or 3 containers of the crescent dough. I'm going to push that back a little bit. Pinch it a bit on the sides. Now, the recipe that I saw said 160 degrees Celsius, which I believe is 320 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's what we're going to do. And it says bake for 35 to 40 minutes. I'm going to put just a little cut in there to let out any steam. And I think I'm going to cover this with some tin foil, just because I think that crescent dough is going to cook quickly. If I can open the tin foil. I can't open it. How does it open any? There we go. All right, I'm just going to lay it on top loosely, and I will check it in probably about 20 minutes or so. Remove it, of course, once, we'll let you know how it comes out. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to come out. So, we got our oven preheated. Let's get it in the oven. Nope. Can't do that. My rack's not straight. I made a big batch of Boston baked beans today, so my oven has been going all day long. All right, let's get it in there. Okay, I'm going to check on that in about 20 minutes. When I check on it, we'll come back. According to the recipe, it's going to need 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, Google, set the oven timer for 20 minutes. And we'll come back and check, see how it's browning. If it's browning too fast, we'll leave the tinfoil on. If it's not brown, if it looks like it's doing pretty good and browning at the speed we want it to, we'll take it off. All right, see you in 20 minutes. All right, it's been in the oven 20 minutes. Let's kind of take a look. It's not brown at all, so I think I'll take it off. I think that'll be fine. All right, so it has another 20 minutes or so to cook, so we'll come back, check it at 20 minutes, see if it's done, and then we're ready to eat. See you in a bit. Okay, it's been about 50 minutes. It looks really brown, so I'm going to take it out of the oven. But now the question is it done? This might be an epic fail recipe, but we're going to let it cool for a good 10-15 minutes. Then we'll cut into it and we'll all discover together whether it was a good recipe or not. So we'll see you in a little while. Okay, it's the moment of truth. This is either going to be an epic fail recipe or, and I just keep saying epic because I can't believe that so many things went wrong with it. But anyway,
it looks good.
Let's see what it tastes like. It certainly is cheesy.
I like cheese and onions. This is good.
It's actually delicious, I think. The onions are a little bit al dente. They're a little tiny bit crunchy.
Yeah.
We'll have to think about whether I would saute them a little bit before I put them in the pie, but it's actually delicious. It's really cheesy.
It is.
I think it's delicious. The crust did cook through.
Yeah.
And we got some baked beans, some Boston baked beans that I made today.
I think that's pretty good.
All in all, for our very first try of it, it came out pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll hopefully clean up the instructions a little bit better in the recipe. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as we enjoyed making it. It's late, we're tired, we're going to eat. What do they have to do?
What do they have to do?
Subscribe and like?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Are they supposed, if they don't like it, what do they do?
Yep, subscribe and click the thumbs up button. And go to cherryhillhomecooking.com. Check it out.
Very good. Ciao.
Bye. The onions could be a little firm, a little softer.
But it's actually very good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Now I understand why the British like onion and cheese pie. Yeah. What? Wow. Yeah, but I definitely think